Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so let's jump straight into it. The Golden State Warriors, Game 3, back at their crib in San Francisco against the Memphis Grizzlies. This is the Western Conference semifinals. Okay, so Game 3. Basically, no Dylan Brooks. He put himself in a position to get suspended, flagrantly fouling the gentleman GP2, and ultimately left him out of these playoffs for probably the duration of those playoffs, and maybe threatening his career, from what I understand. So prayers out to him for sure. But Dylan Brooks is going to be missing for this one. And really, it's a situation where he's actually missing 2 games because he did that very early in the first quarter. So it's like, you really hurt your team there, buddy. But he had already been hurting his team. He hadn't been playing very well, shooting the ball very poorly. So maybe it's a situation where they can possibly weather the storm without him once again. They won the game, and they're heading back to Golden State with a great deal of momentum. The Golden State Warriors, well, the good is this: they crashed the glass very well in this series. They have won the rebounding total thus far, and that is very impressive because I would think that the Memphis Grizzlies have the edge there. They've continued to keep Jaren Jackson frustrated. He's gotten in foul trouble in this series, just as he did in the previous series, that kind of thing. You're seeing the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, Jordan Poole is healing from the elbow, but he's playing well. He had 20 points in the last game. Draymond Green took an elbow to the face, had a couple stitches, flipped the bird to some fans, told everybody how good he felt about it. We're underway, man. The series is underway. It was a very physical game in the previous game 2. A lot of people falling on the ground, a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of testy energy. But guys were, I think guys kept their cool. I guess testy is the wrong way of putting it, because I think the guys are opposite of that. I think they took the punishment and gave the punishment without letting it bleed into real frustration. So I gave kudos to those teams. It's still early though. A couple more flagrant fouls, and you're going to see guys probably lose their cool a little bit. But for now, everybody's in their best behavior outside of, the Dylan Brooks flagrant foul. It's just a lot of hard playing basketball. Okay, so let's talk about Brandon Clark. He's been great in these playoffs, but he had an off game for his standards. Didn't really hit the glass like he had been. They're gonna need him to immediately get back to his ways. One of the things that made them different in this series against the Timberwolves was the fact that he out-rebounded some of the best rebounders the Timberwolves had to offer. So they're going to need him to get back to his rebounding ways, crashing the glass, and ultimately, kind of getting that edge to their team. Because at the end of the day, the Golden State Warriors are controlling the glass, and I think it's why Golden State has kind of been able to hover above water in the series. That's really what it is. You consider the Golden State Warriors did something that you're probably not going to see them do again. Shot very poorly from behind the arc. Very, very poorly. 17% to be exact. And that's not something that they can do very often and succeed. Obviously, the Splash Brothers, the Poole, they got to be able to hit that 3 and hit it right. But as I said at the beginning of the series, and I really believe this, both teams need not fall in love with the 3-point shot. Obviously, the Golden State Warriors, you want them shooting 3s, but if it ain't falling, you don't want to just keep shooting it. You want to have different versions of offense to throw with your defense there. And I think that's what the Golden State Warriors ran into in the last game. Because they weren't able to hit the 3-point shot, they found themselves not really able to score and the way that they needed to. Ja Morant dropped 47 on their heads and closed them out. And it did come down to one possession or two, but they lost their poise in those possessions. Klay Thompson is who we have to talk about. Shot very poorly from behind the arc. He was a part of their shooting woes, and he ultimately cost him the game, man. He cost him the game. What do you want me to say? He cost him the game. He turned the ball over with 17 seconds to go when they were down by, I think, 1 bucket. He just put his foot down before putting the ball down. And he's a Hall of Famer, man. I know he's been missing games, but he's been back for enough time now to be back in the rhythm of things. He needs to bounce back and make up for what was a very, very bad playoff game for a very, very great player. It happens to the best of them, and he's that. But he's going to have to snap out of that and not get caught up in a slump here, because I don't think the Golden State Warriors can afford that. The one thing about the Memphis Grizzlies in this previous game is they too had issues scoring the ball. If it wasn't for Ja Morant scoring 47, we're looking at a score that looked horrible out there. Like, it was really bad if he doesn't do everything that he did. So both teams, you give them credit for playing defense, but you also understand that both teams are shooting not so great right now. You know, outside of Ja Morant putting up the 47, you're looking at anemic performances from both sides pretty much. You need more than 12 points from Jaren Jackson. You need, obviously, without Dillon Brooks, you're going to need guys to step up. Now, Zaire Williams has helped with that. He's been good from behind the arc. Definitely was a big part of why Memphis was involved in that second half and was able to ultimately get the victory. They put him in there, gave themselves a much bigger lineup because of it. And he's just a young player who can do a lot more than he's been asked to do. So when you put him in a position to do that, you're happy with the results. And that's exactly what Zaire's doing for them. He's doing it all, really. He's hitting threes. He's getting out and playing defense. He's rebounding. So as he continues to play, he's just going to get better and better. The upside is ridiculous. And like I said, they don't ask him to do much. So I'm expecting him to have a big game on the road. If his number's called, without Dillon Brooks, it will be. And yeah, he's important, very important for what the Memphis Grizzlies are going to do from here on out. So what else? Who else? D'Anthony Melton. Now, that's somebody who's been impressing the heck out of me in this series on both sides of the floor. On one side, he's making plays for others, getting big assists. In game one, making all kinds of dart passes and stuff like that. And in game two, he was blocking shots. He was allowing his length to be on display, getting some emphatic, big-time blocks that I didn't even know that was. I had no idea that was his game. I did not know. So, you know, now that I'm aware of what D'Anthony Melton can do defensively, I think it's a no-brainer to put him out there a bit more. You know, I know Memphis is deep, and one of the reasons why they are is because they have so many productive players. He happens to be somebody that they don't use as much, and I do think that he's earning that playing time right here and now. So without Dillon Brooks once again, I expect D'Anthony Melton to be featured some, and the momentum is pointing toward him playing well tonight. So we will see. We will see. His efficiency is going to have to be raised in terms of making shots, but just about everything else he's doing has been very impressive in limited minutes. So D'Anthony Melton, definitely somebody to talk about. Tyus Jones is somebody who's having an off series. After having a pretty good series against the Timberwolves, we ain't heard much from him in this series. I expect more from him. The Memphis Grizzlies need to get more from their bench, and they have that talent there. So, you know, the Conchars, whoever coach decides to play, they're capable, and you need to see them get back out there. Also, so Steven Adams is back. We haven't talked about Steven Adams. He was removed from the previous series and then immediately went down with COVID, so it's almost like he's not a part of this team. But he's fresh and healthy, ready to go. So I would be very surprised if we don't see him at least get some minutes tonight, put on the uniform a little bit tonight. We haven't seen him in these playoffs, so most of that has been by his choice, schematic, of course, keep the three-point line from being a problem, and that's still an issue given the fact they're playing the Golden State Warriors, even though they didn't shoot very well, to say the least. But all in all, I do expect them to try to get him back in rotation. They're going to be better with him down there rebounding the ball, banging up against Draymond, taking a little pressure off of Jaren, especially since he can't seem to stay on the floor anyway, and not making it so that they have to lean so much on Tillman, who actually had a pretty good game in the last game, but has been very inconsistent in these playoffs. So, you know, it'd be great if he can string together another good game as well, of course. Again, Memphis just needs more. You look at that 47 from Ja, and then you look at the rest of the team, you're like, nobody really, you know. They're very lucky to have won that game, and very lucky that the Golden State Warriors just could not hit a three. So, Golden State's back home. It's going to rain tonight. It's going to rain. San Francisco is going to be a very, very, very wet place. I do expect that three ball to fall tonight. Klay Thompson was embarrassed by that last game, and you know how he is. It's one or two things with Klay. Either he's going to go internalize everything, and he's going to feel real bad about himself, and he's going to make himself play worse, or he's going to come out there and redeem himself and hit just about every shot he takes. I'm thinking the latter is probably on the way. Or Jordan Poole is just going to kind of take over himself and and feed off of that crowd and have a huge game himself, which I would never rule out, especially since he's feeling a little better about that elbow injury. This would be the night where he just, I'll just drop 35 on somebody tonight. This is that kind of night. So I do expect good play. That Golden State arena has been jumping. Andrew Wiggins needs some credit because he's been great in these playoffs. He's been great on both sides of the floor. Rebounding the ball, very key. Otto Porter Jr. as well. I love what those two players do for the Golden State Warriors. They are so important. Just like when I talk about the Dallas Mavericks and those three shooters that I always mention about the Mavericks, they have those key players. For the Warriors, those are the key players. Unfortunately, GP2 is one of those guys. But I think of, Otto Porter and Andrew Wiggins. You keep them dudes on that team, and you're always going to be really strong on your bench. Those guys they're earning their keep for real. I like those two players more so than I did going into the season. So, yeah, man. All in all, the Golden State Warriors, to me, very much a contender, very much somebody who's going to make John Morant work. But I do expect John Morant's game to travel. I'm expecting a triple-double from John Morant tonight. I mean, that's not a stretch. That's what he does. He's going to get his rebounds. He's going to get his assists. Probably upwards of 25, 30 points, too. It's John, man. What can I say? I'm expecting him to continue what he's doing. I think that's one of the best players in the world for real. And he's not afraid of Steph Curry. He's not afraid of Klay Thompson, Jordan, them guys. He believes himself to be just as great as them. It's just the beginning of his journey. And I'm not sure he's not that guy. I'm not sure his team's not going to win the championship this year. I think they're capable of that. They have the horses, and they have a great coach that knows the roster, knows the rotations, knows how to strategize, etc. And I got a lot of faith in them, man. I told you guys that I think they're going to win some games in Golden State, and I expect that to happen tonight. Even though the Warriors are going home, and I expect a big game from Klay and a big game from Jordan Poole, I also expect a very big game from John Morant. On the road, in Golden State. This is when legends are made. When you're going up against legendary players in the playoffs, on their home floor, when you have a chance to take a pivotal moment in the series, this is when the torch is actually passed. This is when you look up and say, okay, is John Morant really the guy that actually can do that great thing? Or is it still Golden State's time? Are they still that team? These are the times when the pundits start making those decisions in their head and start chirping about who is better in the series. It's when they win this game. So I think this is one of the most important games of the series. Game 3, I think you have an opportunity to set a tone. I do not expect no blowouts. I do not expect guys to beat themselves as much tonight. Defense is going to be a big part of it. Golden State's rebounding is super key, and them not shooting poorly from behind the arc is key as well. Is this a trend? Are they entering another slump as a team? Because we saw them go through this earlier in the year. Steph Curry couldn't hit a rock in the ocean like, October or November? He was horrible. Are we entering that era again? And if so, they ain't gonna make it out the series. I'll tell you right now, if Golden State Warriors can't shoot above 30% from behind the arc, they're gonna have trouble getting out of this series. So, this is a very important game for the Warriors. You got the home court behind you, but you are missing your best defensive player for John Morant, which means he's going to get his triple-double. He's going to get his big points. You're going to have to find something that works against him. I would try more Wiggins. I like Wiggins on him. I've been telling you guys I think y'all should try more. Try Moses Moody and Juan Toscano Anderson is a good guy to keep on the floor now. Defensive guys who can give you 6 fouls. Obviously, you love Kevon Looney. These are all guys that you wish you could keep on the floor for more. It's only 5 guys you can put on the floor, but those are the guys that can really help you in creating the wall that you need to make around John Morant and creating, the toughness necessary to overcome the Jaren Jacksons and stuff. The Warriors have it. It's just unfortunately those players all play the same position, and this is what it is. But the Golden State Warriors are in a great spot to have that depth, so I'm expecting them to utilize it. Draymond, as I said, he is so important because he's going to have to go up against such talented bigs throughout the rest of these playoffs. So him picking up eye injuries and little stuff like that is my most my greatest concern for the Golden State Warriors is Draymond's health, because they rely upon him so much. Sort of like Bam in Miami. It's just like they have a small team or bigs that are not cachet bigs around them, so it's on them to be that. And so Dre can, but it's about health, and he's going to take punishment. So another game against Jaron Jackson tonight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even Steven Adams. Yeah, I think he should wear a mask for that eye too. I think that would be wise for him. But that's what I got, man. That is what I got. I'm excited about both of the games that are coming up tonight. I'm having a great time doing these playoff thought series with you guys. Thank you for the new subscribers, people who are figuring out that I really love this basketball stuff. Whether I'm any good at it or not is to be seen, but it's a passion, so I go for it. And I also do other stuff on this channel too. So if you happen to see something that has nothing to do with basketball and it's not your thing, just skip it, ignore it. So that's what it is, man. BDF 44. Thank you all for watching. I'll get back to you guys at the end of this game as well. Enjoy. Peace.